Hi everybody, it is Saturday, October 10th, and it's time for my sketchbook review. First and foremost, for this week, we've had a casualty. Totoro has disappeared. I'm pretty sure it fell off in my book bag and is probably all squished at the very bottom at this point, but no more Totoro sticker for my back. So I might come up with another sticker design just to kind of stick back here. But everything else is holding up really well. I think it was a bigger sticker, and I can see a crease right here where, you know, stuff probably it didn't adhere or something, and stuff was probably able to get under there and pull it away. So that was lame. But everyone else is holding up, even though Nega Piper here is looking a little bit dingy. She's got some wear and tear on her, but it just gives it character. I've also found that my erasers tend to stick to the Mod Podge really badly, and when I pull them away, it leaves like a bunch of nastiness. So I think I just need to not carry my erasers with my sketchbook anymore, just kind of keep them separated. This week was rough. I failed the test. Not so badly that I can't come back from it. So instead of getting upset about it, I went ahead and I got all of my projects for the rest of the semester done. So the only thing I have left to do is study. My care plan and everything has all been turned in. I have we're supposed to do an evidence-based practice project, a slideshow, and I'm ready to do that, and I'm ready to sign up for that and just get it done. So everything's kind of coming back together. I'm just getting ready because they initially told us we were going to have our next test on next Thursday, and then they changed it to this Monday instead. So I kind of got to get the ball on my studying, but I think I know how to study for this one. I think I just need to sort of key in on some stuff, whereas last time I went too broad. I need to narrow in my studying. So yeah, so alright, but let's go ahead and get to the art so that way I don't waste you guys' time. Not very much in the way of drawing because of everything that had happened this week with my grade. So yeah. Anyway, so we left off with Amy in this weird sort of dynamic, weird stripper pose, whatever. So I was sitting there thinking, you know, what's fabulous to go along with Amy, and I was like, oh, Steelbeak. I'm actually pretty good at drawing Steelbeak, and I very rarely do. So I decided to give it a go and doodle him, and I think it turned out pretty nice. He looks pretty suave. I imagine he's like, the black is like transferring over. It's very disturbing because this is supposed to be white, but I imagine he's like looking in the mirror in the morning getting ready or something. But yeah, Steelbeak. This was actually a lot of fun because he's got such a weird body shape. And then I doodled, well, I'll just make the disclaimer right now, is it's based on somebody else's OC, but from what I've gathered from talking to this person, I don't have a very good idea of what the OC is supposed to look like. So it's intended to be a particular character, but it doesn't look like that particular character according to the creator. So yeah, but whatever. And Piper and Jab, and she's just kind of sticking her tongue out because, you know, that's how she rolls. She's pretty mature. And he's just kind of teasing her because that's what I imagine he would do. And then I went ahead and I drew another picture of Jab, and his full name is Jabari, based on Lupin Lee's character over on Duckverse. And he's like, he works at the bank and stuff like that, so he's like got a day job and stuff like that where he's actually like important, and then he's a criminal at night, which is fun, and that's how him and Piper met. But getting the clouds to work right was kind of hard because I was like, you know, they're supposed to be broken up circles, but then I was like, but how am I going to shade it on the inside? It's going to look stupid just having little like lines in there. Well, that actually turned out pretty okay, so I'm happy with this one. I haven't really branched out my ability to draw other animals very much, just because I'm not what I consider a furry artist or anything like that. I've never really been into it. But for roleplay purposes, it's kind of fun to branch out and sort of explore a little bit. So I was messing around with cat head face shapes, and I was like, well, it's really not that different from duck. You just gotta smush the nose and make a more defined jaw. Whereas with the duck characters, if I've got an example here, I tend to really soften the jaw on the females to where there's almost not one at all. And then if I've got a picture of a Trevor or someone in here, let's see. Well, actually, let's just go back here. I thought I had some male doodles. But with the males, I tend to give them a more prominent chin, but like it's still soft because it's a beak. Yeah, like this right here. Like they still get a visible chin. But with the cat characters, like, because, you know, I look at my cat and it's like you see like his little mouth thing here and it goes like that. And then you always see the chin. So chins on felines is pretty kind of prominent. But whatever. I just did it for him. He's a big cat anyway, so we'll do it. And that was for funsies. And then I did a picture of Nega Piper and Nega Lily post scrapping, just kind of snoozing and doing their thing. And my cat, look at this, just decided to push open my door. Go! It's like I close it and she still finds a way to open it. Sorry for that interruption. It's not going to be a long video anyway though. But alright, so let's go over here where we left off last week with Nega Piper and Piper. And then I was just kind of trying to draw Piper and her new digs. It's kind of like, she's small, but I did it on purpose because I want this to be like the biggest bed ever. And she's got like really nice fancy lamps and everything. She's moving uptown. She's gonna be in like a rich area, and I'm super excited for it, for her, because, you know, I live in squalor and she lives in royalty stuff. Yeah. And then I drew another Piper. I was on a Piper kick this week. She's kind of got her hair pulled back in a loose ponytail, like down in this direction, so you won't see the rest of her hair. But it was just kind of like a loose, sort of silky, summery, nighty sort of thing. I think it was a nightgown was the idea. And I just kind of wanted to doodle her because she's adorable. Look at her. And then I was in a role play and we were doing a sequence with our future babies. And this is Lydia and this is Amy. And they end up accidentally stumbling into the strip club that Amy works at. And she recognizes Lydia because she's met Lydia before. And, you know, Amy, for all she is the kind of character who I imagine, in Lydia's case, seeing how mousy and very quiet she is, would endlessly be trying to pull her into things to kind of up her confidence and be like, hey, come strip, you'll feel great about yourself. And it's true. I actually have a lot of friends who are strippers, and they have a lot of confidence. And it's not because they're taking their clothes off and people are giving them money. It's because they enjoy what they do and they're good at it. There are a lot of strippers who don't even have to take off their clothes in order to make money. There are a lot of strippers who do not take off their clothes and they still make a lot of money. So I think that there's this really big stigma that goes along with it. Amy, yeah, she does take off her clothes. That's just the kind of girl she is. But she sees like the benefits of like the profession and would like encourage Lydia to at least come visit. But she was drunk in it, of course, and 'cause she's at work. And she stumbles on Tony, Lydia, and Cassie. And when she's just really affectionate when she's drunk. And she's getting affectionate with Lydia. So, and this was actually a sequence from, if you guys ever watch like Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, I think they did it in both. It's the whole Puff sequence where, and it was usually Master Roshi and Bulma. And he would always put his face in between her breasts, and, you know, the puff thing was the breast pushing up against the sides of his face. And I was like, oh, that's hilarious. Let's do that to Lydia. And I was like, I felt okay about drawing it because they're my characters, so it's not too awkward. And, yeah. But honestly, even sober, that's probably how Amy would act towards Lydia. Just because she knows it makes her uncomfortable, and she likes making people uncomfortable. But really, honestly, at this point, they're not really good friends yet. Amy is just like sleeping with Julius. But at some point in the future, they actually do become really good friends. Just because Amy isn't going to be leaving Lydia behind anytime soon. Just because, oh, it's my little sister. She kind of has that attitude towards it. Anyway, so enough about duck boobs. Another quick Piper doodle. She's kind of touching her lips there. And I'll talk about that in a second. But she's just kind of thinking about how she misses being kissed. Because if you've ever been in a relationship or a relationship that has had any like length of time, you start to realize that those little affectionate things that people do for each other, and I'm not, you know, kisses, hugs, whatever, you do start to miss them when you don't have them for a while. And it's kind of weird because you develop a muscle memory for it, so when it's actually happening, like a kiss, you don't think too much about it. But when you go without it for a long time and then you get a kiss, then you're like, oh my god, I remember why I like this, and then it reawakens that muscle memory. So it's just one of those things. But I was drawing this, and initially I had her pinky kind of, I have 4 fingers, this is a problem, but it was like basically like one of these, like she had 2 fingers here, and then this finger was curled down. And then I was thinking about it, and I remember seeing this Legend of Korra comic at one point where Asami was sitting at the table, and they were talking about being in the spirit realm, and she was talking to Bolin, and I think Mako was watching Asami. Asami started doing this weird thing. She like parted her fingers and started running her tongue up and down in between it. And obviously, we all know what she was hinting at. And I realized that, oh, that could be pretty suggestive. So I went ahead and I did a quick doodle of it anyway, because why not? And then I changed this. I initially had it like this, and then I added this because I thought it was hilarious. I was like, that's not Piper at all. But I was like, this is my fear, is that I'm going to draw something that is so complete. Like, to me, it was an innocent mistake, and I'm glad I caught it and changed it beforehand. Because I know a few people who would have eagerly pointed it out to me. But then part of me is like, well, what am I embarrassed about? Who cares how Piper is? I mean, maybe she does end up liking girls. It doesn't matter. But I just thought for funsies I would doodle it. Because that's how I roll. And then I think it's the last picture, yeah, is I was working on a sequence of Piper pulling herself out of a vent. It was going to be part of a comic sequence of her kind of pulling out of a vent, and then it pans out, and Steelbeak and like his Eggman are like watching this wherever she's coming out from, and they're like, oh, somebody beat us to it. And then it becomes like one of those, if you remember the old Batman movie with Danny DeVito as the Penguin, and he goes like, I saw her first, and then he like knocks Batman down and runs after Catwoman. I was hoping it'd be something like that, but then I believe I forced myself to stop drawing so much and start studying, which I really didn't, but I did get my project done, because I kept telling myself, you know, just one more slide, because we had 7, and I was waiting for critique before I did any more of them. And I got my critique, and I was like, alright, I'll finish it in the morning, and then I started working on this. But then I was like, no, I think I can get this done tonight. And I did, and I'm glad I did. But like last night I got home from clinical, and just some stuff happened, and things were said between people again, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. So I just shut everything down, and I went and slept out in front of the wood stove, and my neck's been killing me still, and I don't know what to do about it. It's just not been a very happy week, but there's only 2 weeks left in this semester, like next week and the following week, and then I'm done. So I can make it 2 more weeks, and I've been talking to the people in leadership, and they keep saying it's a lot better. So I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to have a normal life again. But anyway, so yeah, that's it for this week. Not too much. I'm hoping that now that my big projects are out of the way, I only have to present the one, but I'm hoping that once that's out of the way, I'll have more time to draw. Again, I mean, I still have a decent amount of time to draw, but let's see, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 drawings. And then I did the Who Wore It Better over on my Tumblr. So you guys haven't seen that. There's a Who Wore It Better black dress challenge thingy that I did. It wasn't really a challenge. I just drew through my duck characters, Scarlet, Piper, and Nega Piper, all wearing a little black dress. And the whole goal of me doing it was to kind of showcase their different personalities and their posing and how they receive wearing the dress. And Scarlet, of course, she's rocking it because whatever. And then Piper's a little bit more subdued and kind of hiding herself because it is a very small little black dress. She doesn't have much to show off to begin with since she's so small, but... And then there's Nega Piper, and she's just like, doesn't even care the fact she's wearing a dress. She's just inappropriate all around. So if you guys are interested in that, pop over to my Tumblr and take a look at it. But that's it for this week. If you guys like what you saw, feel free to hit like and subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment. I know I don't respond to my comments very much, usually because I don't get notifications. Like, some people get emails, I don't get emails. Like, and I look at my Tumblr and I always have to go to the message center and all that stuff to find out if there's been any comments. And I forget to do it a lot because I get home, I just don't see any messages, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go do something else now. So I do get your guys' comments eventually. Sometimes my phone notifies me, but for the most part it doesn't. And I do like try to go through and double check, but usually it's been a week by the time I realize I've gotten a message or a comment or something. But I do really, really, really appreciate them. And so, I mean, don't feel like if you're commenting that I'm not getting it, because I really am. It's just time and notifications kind of mess me up from replying in a decent manner. And I'm always like, oh, I'm not going to reply to something. It's been up there for a week. They probably already figure I forgot. But yeah. So like, subscribe, comment, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.